Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. news and Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Apelai. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trendy news. And now to the headlines. Warri Refinery has resumed operations, says Nnpcl. President Tinubu hails Nnpcl over Warri Refinery reopening. Nigeria's woes are caused by leaders and followers, says Obasanjo. Direct payment of council allocations begins next month. FUBRA presents 2025 appropriation bill of 1.19 trillion naira to Okojumbo-led assembly. In business, currency outside the banks hits new high of 4.65 trillion naira. And in sports, AIBA unveiled Brown Ide. And in entertainment, only God can cancel me, says Naira Man. And now the news in full. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and Nnpcl has announced that the 125,000 barrel per day Warri Refinery, refining and petrochemicals company in Warri, Delta State, is now operational. This was disclosed by the Nnpcl Group Chief Executive Officer Nnpcl during a tour of the facility on Monday. The development comes barely a month after the 60,000 barrels per day old Port Harcourt refinery resumed operations. Before the tour commenced, Kyari explained that the inspection aimed to show Nigerians the level of work completed so far. They disclosed that though the repairs were not yet 100% complete, operations have commenced. According to him, the tour became necessary as many people think the development is not real. The petrochemical plant produces 13,000 metric tons per annum of polypropylene and 18,000 metric tons per annum of carbon black. Commissioned in 1978 and managed by Nnpcl, the refinery was built to supply markets in the southern and southwestern regions of Nigeria. The mechanical completion was initially scheduled for the first quarter of 2024, according to the Nnpcl spokesperson, Olufemi Shone. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has hailed the reopening of the Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Nnpcl, describing it as a significant achievement in 2024. In a statement today by his special advisor on information and strategy, President Bola Tinubu said the milestone further strengthens Nigerians' hope in his administration's commitment to revitalizing the energy sector and fostering economic growth. He further noted that with the 125,000 barrels per day Warri Refinery now operating at 60% capacity, his administration's comprehensive plan to ensure energy efficiency and security is entirely on course. He commended the Nnpcl-led management of the Nnpcl for working hard to restore Nigeria's glory and pride as a major oil-producing country. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has attributed Nigeria's current challenges to both the actions of his leaders and followers' contributions. However, the former president, who spoke during an appearance on a local television program on Monday, urged Nigerians to remain hopeful and not lose faith as the new year begins despite the difficulties facing the country. Obasanjo expressed confidence that Nigeria will soon assume its rightful position among nations, saying he remains a steadfast optimist about the country's future. He wished all Nigerians a happy and prosperous new year while telling them not to lose hope in the face of the current hardships. According to him, Nigeria is not where God wants it to be, but sooner than later the nation will get there. He added that God wants Nigeria to be a land flowing with milk and honey, not a desert, a basket case, or a failed country. The presidency has requested the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed to withdraw his threat to President Bola Tinubu over the tax reform bills. A statement shared on his X handle on Monday by President Tinubu's special advisor on media and public communications, Sunday Barrier, described Mohammed's threat as inflammatory. The governor, while addressing the Christian community in Bauchi on Boxing Day, had said Tinubu was calling for anarchy if he goes ahead with the tax reforms. He warned that if the policies continued, the northern region would show its true colors in response, just as he stressed that such reforms could lead to economic setbacks in the region while favoring just one state of the federation. However, the presidency has urged him to retract the remarks, describing them as confrontational, and to redirect his focus toward productive dialogue with the federal government regarding any concern about the Tax Reform Act. According to the statement, Mohammed's views do not reflect those of the entire North. Barring any last-minute change of plan, councils will begin to get direct allocation from the federal account next month. It will begin with the disbursement of this month's allocation to the tiers of government. The direct receipt from the Federation Account Allocation Committee will end the delay in the implementation of the July 11 judgment of the Supreme Court granting financial autonomy to councils. Since the judgment was delivered, the federal government has been making an effort to ensure minimal disruption to state local government operations. The umbilical cord of the state-local government joint account into which councils' allocations are paid has been difficult to break because of subtle resistance by governors, many of who are displeased with the Supreme Court judgment. A member of the Interministerial Committee established to enforce the Supreme Court judgment disclosed that approval has been given for the direct FAAAC allocations to local government areas next month after all the issues were laid to rest. A federal high court in Abuja has okayed the application by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to freeze 24 bank accounts domiciled in different banks over allegations bordering on terrorism financing. Justice Emeka Wite, who granted the application after the EFCC lawyers Martha Babantide moved an ex parte motion to the effect, gave the Commission the go-ahead to freeze the account for 90 days pending the conclusion of investigation. The motion ex parte filed by Ekele Iheanacho sought an order freezing the bank account stated in the schedule which accounts are owned by Lawrence Lucky Eromosele. Eromosele is currently being investigated over a case of kidnapping. Iheanacho said the bank account in respect of which the reliefs were sought are subject matters of investigation by the EFCC in relation to money laundering and terrorism financing. The lawyer said the preliminary investigation conducted thus far revealed that the bank accounts are linked to persons who take advantage of the virtual cryptocurrency exchange platforms to illegally manipulate the value of the naira and laundering proceeds of unlawful activities. He added there was need to preserve the funds in the identified bank accounts pending the conclusion of investigation and possible prosecution. The chieftain of the Zamfara State Chapter of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi, has described the threat by bandit leader Bello Torji to destroy the state if his associate Baka Boji is not released before December ends as a direct affront to the Nigerian military. Shinkafi, who addressed newsmen in Gusau on Sunday night, condemned Torji's ultimatum, calling it a blatant insult to the Nigerian military and security forces. He urged swift action against the bandit leader before he executes his threat, which could devastate innocent communities. Shinkafi regretted that an armed bandit could threaten local communities without consequence following the military's movement of his accomplice Warri from his hospital bed in Shinkafi. The Nigerian Army had apprehended Warri on December 14 on suspicion of involvement in the killing of the Emir of Gobre, Issa Mohammed Bawar in Sokoto State. In response, Torji demanded Warri's immediate release, threatening to unleash attacks on communities across Zamfara and Sokoto State if he was not released before the new year. You're still watching the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. After the break, Tokro resigns as Character Commission Secretary. Do stay with us for this and more interesting stories.
From the views on the street
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
His appointment, effective Monday, December 16, 2024, will remain in place until the substantive secretary is named. The Federal Character Commission, as mandated by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, continues to play a critical role as a custodian of federal character, ensuring that all federal agencies and parastatals comply with its provisions to promote fairness and equity across the nation. Former Governor of Kaduna State, Nnpcl El-Rufai, has described former aide to ex-President Goodluck Jonathan, Rena Omokri, as a political machinery retained by any paying person or government. Speaking on his X handle today, El-Rufai lambasted Omokri over comments that he, El-Rufai, is frustrated after being left out of President Tinubu's cabinet. Irked by his comment, the former governor referred to a past case of alleged identity theft where an American woman accused Omokri of using her son's name, Wendell Simlin, in an attempt to link the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lamido Sanusi, to the terrorist group Boko Haram. Omokri had tweeted on Sunday that El-Rufai was just being clever by half in expressing his frustration at not being made a minister by attacking the federal government's funding of a rail project in Lagos, among other claims. In response, however, El-Rufai shared on X pictures of Omokri protesting against Tinubu's election and making unflattering remarks about him. He noted that the interesting life cycle of Wendell Simlin, also sometimes retained as a political machinery by any person or government that can pay. In anticipation of the forthcoming New Year festivities, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, has announced an expansion of its nighttime traffic management and monitoring operations. The exercise will be across key commercial zones including Lekki-Ajah, Ikoyi, Victoria Island, and other high-traffic areas within the city. The strategic initiative is designed to ensure the uninterrupted flow of vehicular movement within this vital district, particularly during the holiday season and the subsequent periods of heightened traffic. In a statement to this effect, the General Manager of LASMA, Olalekan Bakare Oki, reiterated the agency's steadfast dedication to maintaining order and ensuring the seamless progression of traffic throughout the metropolis. He stated that LASMA personnel who had executed their duties with vigilance successfully preventing disruptions and ensuring smooth transit along major thoroughfares. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has signed into law the state's 427 billion naira 2025 appropriation bill. Entitled the Budget of Growth and Sustainable Development, Adeleke signed the bill on Monday in his office in the presence of his cabinet members and representatives of the legislative arm. The House of Assembly passed the bill after adding 37 billion naira to the 390 billion naira proposal presented to it earlier, bringing it to 427.746 billion naira. A delegate further commended the legislature and its cabinet members for the inputs into the bill. Ekiti State Governor Mr. Biodun Oyebanji on Monday signed the state's 375.79 billion naira 2025 budget into law. The budget passed by the House of Assembly and presented to the governor for assent as 51% recurrent expenditure and 49% capital expenditure. Speaking in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, during the ceremony, Oyebanji said the budget, which he called a product of wide consultation with the people of Ekiti State, was prepared based on the expected economic realities for next year. He added that it also signed with the fiscal principles of transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. According to him, top priority has been given to agriculture and food security, wealth creation, and infrastructural development in the 2025 fiscal year. Also, the document will enable them to consolidate their achievements as a government, complete all ongoing programs and projects, and provide the required infrastructure for the economic transformation of the towns and communities across the state. However, he emphasized that the successful implementation of the budget depends largely on the availability of funds. To the South-South, where River State Governor Similaye Fubra has presented the state 2025 appropriation bill of 1.19 trillion naira to the Victor Okojumbo-led House of Assembly. Presenting the appropriation bill, Fubra said 462 billion naira is for recurrent expenditure, while 678 billion naira is for capital expenditure. Also, 35.7 billion naira was budgeted for planning reserve with a closed balance of 12.9 billion naira, he stated. Furthermore, Fubra said the 44.56% of the budget dedicated to infrastructural and human capital development was proof of his government's sincere commitment to both. The governor said the 2025 budget is premised on achieving sustainable economic growth, accelerating the development of the state, and improving the living standards of the people. According to him, it contains policy measures and objectives that will strengthen the state's capacity to weather possible external shocks from the volatility of the national economy and to build the resilience and advance the state's collective development and prosperity. Fubra explained that the budget is premised on the assumptions of an oil price benchmark of $80 per barrel, an oil production rate of 1.8 million barrels per day, an exchange rate of 1,500 to the dollar, and a 22% inflation rate. Up next is business, sports, and entertainment stories after the break. Stay tuned.
A scintillating Christmas celebration and a prosperous New Year 2025.
From all of us, we just want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2025.
This is to wish you Merry Christmas. Una do well for standing by us all this time.
In a significant development, here is a more prosperous New Year, filled with happiness and
with a wish and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for always watching our Wonge station.
Hi, I am Chukuma Okoro. This is wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Season greetings from all of us and Voice of the People team.
Season's greetings from all of us at VOP TV.
The Utah is a season of love, a season of hope, a season of blessings. May the divine light of Christmas shine in your life this season. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us at Voice of the People Television. Thank you for sticking with us.
Welcome back, and now to business. Currency outside banks hit a new high of 4.65 trillion naira in November 2024, representing 95.4% of the total currency in circulation. This is as Nigerians grappled with persistent cash scarcity despite efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria to ease the situation. Data from the CBN showed a significant increase in cash held outside the banking system, up by 364.38 billion naira from 4.29 trillion naira in October. Total currency in circulation also climbed to 4.88 trillion naira, reflecting a month-on-month rise of 328.91 billion naira or 7.2%. The new high underlines Nigerians' continued reliance on cash for transactions, even as the CBN works to promote digital payment. On a year-on-year basis, the amount of currency outside banks rose by 51% compared to 3.08 trillion naira recorded in November 2023. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has directed the transfer of the regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Ogun State to the Ogun State Electricity Regulatory Commission. NERC stated in its X handle on Monday that the directive is based on the state government's compliance with the provisions of the Electricity Act 2023 as amended. The Act requires the states to notify the Commission of the processes involved in the establishment of any intrastate electricity market, after which NERC can give authorization. Having complied with the provisions, therefore, NERC said it has issued an order to transfer regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Ogun State from the Commission to the Ogun State Electricity Regulatory Commission. In outer sports, Nnpcl have announced the signing of former Super Eagles striker Brownie Dare. The People's Elephant unveiled the striker in a bar on Monday. Dare previously trained with Rivers United but was not offered a contract by the Port Harcourt-based club. The striker started training with Nnpcl last month and will now spend the remainder of the campaign with the 9-time Nigerian Premier League Football League champions. The Disciplinary Board of the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has charged the Libyan Football Federation with misconduct following the incident during the AFCON 2025 qualifiers against Benin Republic in Benghazi on November 18, 2024. Following the charge, which they were found guilty of, the Libyan Football Federation has been ordered to play its next 2 official national team matches behind closed doors and also pay a fine of $50,000. In a statement on its website, CAF said the decision was taken when the disciplinary board met to deliberate on several matters and incidents during the CAF Interclub competition and also AFCON 2025 qualifiers. The board found the Libyan Football Federation guilty of violating Articles 82 and 151 of the CAF Disciplinary Code on the behavior of its supporters and officials during and after the match against Benin Republic. About entertainment, Nigerian singer Aziz Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley, has said only God can cancel him. Naira Marley stated this on his X post on Monday. Cancel culture on social media lingo refers to the boycotting, shaming, or ostracizing of individuals or groups due to behavior, opinions, or statements deemed offensive or problematic. Though it is intended to hold people accountable, its effectiveness, fairness, and implications for free speech have been subject to intense debate. Malian music has faced severe criticism from Nigerians since the death of his former label signee, Mohbad, under controversial circumstances in September 2023. Following Mohbad's death, videos of his alleged harassment by Naira Marley and his associates emerged or were recirculated on social media, sparking public outrage. Consequently, the police invited, detained, and subsequently released the singer and his associate Sam Larry. However, Naira Marley has continued to maintain his innocence. Nevertheless, over a year after the incident, many Nigerians have continued to criticize the singer, especially on social media. Olamide and Asake have reportedly parted ways after the YBNL music boss reportedly allowed the Sungba singer to officially terminate his contract with the record label. Asake was allowed to leave with the masters to all his songs recorded under the label as part of the termination agreement. It was also reported that both parties will, however, maintain a royalty split on the songs for as long as the contract was intended to run, which is a minimum of 10 years. And before we go, a recap of the major headlines to wrap up the 9 p.m. news. We told you earlier that Warri Refinery has resumed operations. President Tinubu hails at Nnpcl over Warri Refinery reopening. Nigeria's woes caused by leaders and followers, says a passenger. Direct payment of council allocations begins next month. FUBRA presents 2025 appropriation bill of 1.19 trillion naira to Okojumbo-led assembly. And in business, currency outside banks hits new high of 4.65 trillion naira. And in sports, Enyimba unveiled Brown Ide. And in entertainment, only God can cancel me, says Naira Marley. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we have Voice of the People TV. And on all the social media platforms, we have VOP TV Live. I am Jerry. Happily. Good evening.